I was not looking forward to making this video just because of how disappointing it is that I even feel the need to make it in the first place. The message I'm trying to get across in this video is boycott the Switch 2. Don't buy it, don't buy the games for it, don't support it, don't encourage Nintendo's decisions. Boycott the Switch 2. I'm just going to start out by saying that if you watch my normal videos, this isn't going to be like that. It's not going to be like, I'm analyzing things and like making like actual points about them, but it's also, I'm cracking jokes and stuff as well. This is probably not going to have any jokes in it. It's just going to be a serious video because I'm too pissed off to try to be funny right now. Four times, I tried to write a script for this video before I eventually just decided that the best way to make this was to just have it be a rant coming straight from the heart instead of me reading off of a script. I do have on my laptop right now just a list of points that I want to make just so I don't forget anything. If you haven't deduced it yet, this video is about the abhorrent pricing we've seen so far for the Switch 2 and its games. And I can already hear the people coming in to type in the comments about, oh, well, you're just not a huge Nintendo fan. You're just not a real Nintendo fan if you're not willing to buy the games and the console for this price. And that's when I'll say that I am the biggest Nintendo fan that I know. I've been a massive fan ever since I first got a DS from my cousins when I was like 6 years old. I've been playing Nintendo games ever since. I've only ever owned Nintendo consoles and handhelds. If you saw my videos, like, about the Switch 2 reveal, all the stuff leading up to the upcoming launch before I knew about the prices, you would know how excited I was. My thoughts on and hopes for the Switch 2 video, my Switch 2 direct reaction video, all that stuff. I was really excited to see what was all happening. And then when the prices got revealed, it just felt like a massive fucking slap in the face. I was originally planning to make this video earlier. I started working on it immediately after finding out about the prices, but I did want to wait a little longer before making this video because I thought new information about prices and stuff would come out, and that stuff has come out. So I wanted to implement that stuff into my video. I'm not the first person to make a video about the Switch 2 pricing. There have been a lot of videos about it already, and I'm not trying to discount those videos and say that they're bad for not waiting for more information to come out. I'm just saying I kind of wanted to try a different perspective on it. Not that it's going to be super different. As I've tried to imply so far, this is not going to be a positive video. But yeah, as I was saying earlier, I am the biggest Nintendo fan I know, which is why it's pretty crazy how fucking disappointed I am and how confident I am in the fact that I am not getting this console, at least not at launch with this price. I say the console price isn't actually the worst part of all of this, but more into that later. The system itself is $450. Mario Kart World is $80. Donkey Kong Bananza is $70. All of that is measured in US dollars. That is important for reasons I'll get into later. But yeah, you know what? Let's just start out with the system itself. It's $150 more than the original Switch and the Xbox Series S. It's $100 more than the Switch OLED, $50 more than the digital-only PS5. It is $50 less than the regular PS5 and Xbox Series X, and it is $150 less than the PS5 Pro. The information you should glean from all of that is that it is only $50 less than other current-gen consoles, while the Switch was a whole $100 less. If you buy a digital-only PS5 or Xbox Series S, by the way, you are saving money. Now, you might be thinking, what, that's not a huge deal. I mean, it's still cheaper than the other consoles, right? Yeah, but context is also important. You might have seen floating around recently, there's a picture that looks like this of the Nintendo GameCube being sold for $50. And this was a real thing that happened. This was an official thing. Nintendo sold the GameCube for $50 for a while. Completely new consoles, I should add. And I'm using that to lead into this argument. Nintendo has always been focused on affordability. They've obviously been focused on other things, but a huge part of their branding has been affordability. Their consoles have always been significantly cheaper than other consoles. Even if you ignore that whole GameCube thing, like I said earlier, the Switch was $100 less than the other current gen consoles. Now, as I was also saying, the console price is far from being the worst part of this, and yes, it could have been worse. Just recently, in case you missed this, the Switch pre-orders in the US and as a result Canada were delayed due to a certain US president's tariffs that were imposed. Nintendo confirmed that they had not factored in the tariffs into the price, so they retracted the pre-orders, delaying them until further notice. That further notice actually came at the time of recording just yesterday. This new pre-order date of the 24th of April 2025 has been announced, and thankfully it actually still will be $450. People were theorizing that it was going to be a lot more expensive. Unfortunately, the console being the same price means that the accessories have taken a hit, a pretty fucking big hit in terms of some accessories. Amiibos are going to be $40 now, based on what we have seen so far. Joy-Cons are going to be close to $100 which if they still drift, which we haven't gotten confirmation, we have not gotten official confirmation that they won't, by the way. If they still drift, that'll be fucking insane. And all this other stuff. So no, Nintendo is still not taking the hit, they're just taking it in a different field. Thankfully, the console itself will still be $450. As I was saying, this is expensive, but as I was also saying, this is far from the worst part of it. I don't even really have a problem with the price itself, it's just that Nintendo fucking lied. In an interview from February 10th of this year, Shuntaro Furukawa, the president of Nintendo, stated that Nintendo was still taking affordability into consideration when pricing the new console. This argument doesn't ring completely hollow, to be fair. Like I said, it is still cheaper than other new-gen consoles, but again, the accessories, a lot of which are very necessary for the console, are going to be more expensive. Take that into account. You add on all that stuff to the console itself, that makes it a hell of a lot expensive. And speaking of expensive, games, which we'll be talking about in just a second, I promise, very much do not match this whole affordability thing. When I was thinking about how much this console was going to cost, I thought it was going to cost somewhere from $350 to $450. It is very much pushing the whole affordability thing, and when you combine it with the accessory prices, yeah, it becomes a fuck of a lot worse. The whole point I'm trying to make here is that this console price wouldn't be as big of a deal if Nintendo hadn't focused on affordability in the past. I honestly would have preferred it if instead of Shuntaro Furukawa saying this, he just went out and admitted, yeah, it's going to be harder to take affordability into account with this new console, we'll be honest. It would have hurt a lot less to see the console price. But as I have stated multiple times now, the console price is far from the worst part of this. The worst part of this is the game prices. Let's start out with Donkey Kong Bonanza, because this is probably the easiest pill to swallow. It'll be $70, and this is going to be the average price for Switch 2 games going forward. This sucks, but it's honestly expected at this point. Current gen games are being sold mostly at $70 now. With the way things are going, it's expected that game prices are just going to increase by $10 with every generation, which is fucking ridiculous, but I mean, again, this was expected, so although it sucks, it doesn't suck as much as it could. My least favorite argument that I've seen, I've argued with so many people saying this, is that, oh, well, it's only that much due to inflation. Did you know that games were even more expensive than they are now in the past? And that's just not fucking true. Sure, $60 if you adjust for inflation has changed from 2017 to 2025. It may have gotten a lot more expensive. It may be more than $70 now, But what you're not factoring into that is that wages have not increased with inflation. I'm not an economics channel. I'm not going to lie and say I know everything about economics, but that's just common fucking sense. Shit has gotten more expensive over the years, and people have not gotten paid more over the years. We're paying more, and it's supposed to make sense, but it doesn't fucking make sense because we're not getting paid more in combination with this. But yeah, in the end, this is unfortunate but expected. What is unfortunate and not expected is that Mario Kart World is going to be $80. This is what inspired me to make this video. Inspired, I'm using not in a positive way, by the way. This is a ridiculous fucking price for a video game. It is completely inexcusable. It is ridiculous. It is easily the worst information we've gotten out of this. And for all the people that are trying to defend it with inflation or, oh, it makes sense for the game. No, there's a fucking reason why Nintendo refused to talk about the prices in that direct. There was a reason why they conveniently forgot to mention the prices during the direct. Is because they knew they were fucking insane. They know they are asking for way too much with $80 for Mario Kart. It is ridiculous. And one of the reasons I waited was so we could see more information to come out about this game before I went out and said all of this. I am of the opinion that no video game should cost $80 right now. That is way, way too much to ask for a video game. That is very close to a whole $100. And oh yeah, in places like Canada, it is $100. In fact, I've heard that in Canada, it's actually 120 Canadian dollars there, which I don't know how that compares to US dollars, really, but that is a lot of money. I have seen Canadian people talking about this game and how much of a huge asking price it is. The worst part about all this is that when you think about that, the US is lucky for getting these prices, and they are still insane prices. We are living in an age where hobbies are becoming unaffordable, and it is just ridiculous to see Nintendo just joining along with this. Speaking of joining along, Mario Kart World is not going to be the only $80 game for the Switch 2, and anyone that says that is fucking fooling themselves. Because no, if Nintendo can charge $80 for a game and get away with it, that's not going to stop them from charging $80 for all sorts of bullshit. Tears of the Kingdom, if you don't remember, launched at $70. And this was pretty crazy, but Nintendo did try to justify themselves, and they were like, oh, well, yeah, we'll do a case-by-case basis. And it ended up being the only Switch game that costed $70. I still don't agree with that decision, but I think that their justification was fair enough. Their justification for this, on the other hand, absolutely fucking not. I am watching this post Mario Kart World Direct, which promised Bill Trinen himself from Nintendo came out and said, don't worry, the $80 price, a lot of you may be worried about it, but we think we'll justify it with this Direct. And the Direct ended up being regurgitating the same information that we've already heard from Nintendo and other YouTube channels. It was cool to see the official confirmation. I do get excited a few times in my reaction, which you can check out, like I will admit, but for the most part, it was such a nothing Direct, and absolutely nothing that came from it justified the $80 price tag. Maybe it's just that I went into it with the mindset that nothing would justify the $80 price tag, but I actually came out of it thinking that it was even less justified. I've watched some non-Nintendo videos where people have mentioned things that they're worried about with the game, and personally, I think that if you're charging $80 for a video game, there should be nothing to fucking worry about with it. What if the open world is actually just really empty? Should not be a fear that people have after trying the game at like Nintendo's official events. Oh, the multiplayer doesn't look great. Should not be a fear that people have when the game is $80 motherfucking dollars. That is ridiculous. Everyone should be excited about it. This should be a Smash Bros. Ultimate level hype train for this game if it's going to be $80 whole dollars. Nothing has justified the price tag. Nothing will justify the price tag, honestly, because again, $80. I should just note, this rumor hasn't been floating around as much, but it still is believed by some people. There was this rumor about the physical copy of the game costing $90. This is misinformation. The physical copy of the game will not be more expensive. It is capped out at $79.99 US dollars. Still extremely expensive, but I just wanted to get that out of the way. If there's one thing Nintendo's doing right, it's not that. Except, hey, don't give them any fucking ideas. The truth of the matter is very depressing, and the truth of the matter is that Video games are getting too expensive. Because of shit like this, it's clear that they're turning into a luxury. The whole inflation argument that people put out, it's just people trying to condition us into thinking that these are normal amounts of money to pay for video games. And they are not. I am tired of people trying to swindle other people into thinking, don't worry, you're actually paying less when you think about it, because that's not fucking true at all. This is pure greed. This is a ridiculous asking price for a video game. This is all just extremely unfair. And like I was starting to say earlier, this is a launch game. Mario Kart World is a launch game. If that game is going to be $80, we are going to see many more $80 games going forward. And I want to dispel this whole argument that, oh, well, Nintendo is going to be pricing their games on a case-by-case basis. This argument is more understandable because, yeah, Nintendo actually has come forward and issued that statement. But they're fucking lying. That's not how it works at all. The reason why Donkey Kong Bonanza is $70 and Mario Kart World is going to be $80 is not because Mario Kart World is a better game than Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's because Nintendo feels a lot safer charging $80 for that. If you look at Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, it is one of the best-selling Nintendo games ever. So they probably saw that and went, hey, with how well that one sold, we can probably just go ahead and charge $80 for this new one. Versus Donkey Kong, there hasn't been a new Donkey Kong 3D game since the 90s. There was one, and it got pretty mixed reviews. This is the first new 3D Donkey Kong game in decades. And from what I've seen, it looks to be quite a huge departure from Donkey Kong 64. It is a much more daring and a much more adventurous game. That is why they're charging less for this one than they are for Mario Kart World. I hate to sound like a conspiracy theorist, but I genuinely believe that that's the truth. If Nintendo wasn't robbing us fucking blind with these prices, I'd bet money to say that that's why they're doing this. They're less confident that Donkey Kong Bonanza will sell well if they overcharge for it, which is why they are charging less for it. Mario Kart World has Mario's name in it. Donkey Kong isn't a niche franchise, but like I said, they're going with a whole new route in this game. Mario Kart World, sure, yeah, it has all the open world stuff, but at its core, it is still very much a Mario Kart game. People will be very familiar with it. Because here's the thing, Nintendo is no stranger to overcharging. I mean, they're a stranger to overcharging to this extent as far as I'm concerned, but take a look at games like Yoshi's Crafted World and Kirby Star Allies, two games that I like, but also two games that should not be $60. They're not super long, they're not super challenging, they leave a lot to be desired. But they're still full-priced games, and given how Nintendo never lets their games go on sale, they're still full-priced games, as long as you don't buy, a used copy or something like that. So what's to stop them from charging $80 for the next Kirby Star Allies, where you play it for a few hours, then you're done, and you're like, well, I feel no need to revisit that game again. Because I'm not theorizing. They will do it. They have done it. And as much as I want to blame tariffs, not to start a political flame war in the comments section, but as much as I want to blame tariffs, I know that it's not just tariffs. Nintendo is equally to blame, if not even more to blame for these prices. Case in point, Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. $10 fucking dollars for Nintendo Switch 2 Welcome Tour. You might be thinking, $10 isn't that expensive, right? No, not really. It's not even the price itself I have a problem with. It's the fact that it even costs money at all. It's a fucking tech demo, not even a tech demo game. This is barely even a game. It's like a playable instruction manual, which is a cool idea. In my direct reaction, I even thought it looked cool. I was like, oh, this is a cute looking game. It's a lot less cute when it's $10 fucking dollars though. Go back in time and look at Wii Sports. Reggie, bless his soul, I don't know why I'm saying that, he's still alive, but Reggie fought to get that game to be a free pack-in title for the Wii. And that is an actual game. That's a replayable, really fun game. It's like one of the best games on the Wii. Well, Resort is better, but I digress. It's still an extremely fun game. This looks like a game that I would play for like 10 minutes before never touching again. I'd be like, oh, that's cute, and then that's it. This should be a pack-in title. I can't believe there are people arguing against this at all. This should be a pack-in title. This is pure corporate greed. Nintendo does not need to charge money for this. Nintendo is not suffering. Nintendo has had their best generation yet with the Switch. They are loaded. They are swimming in fucking money, and they do not need to charge $10 for this bullshit. I don't want to see anyone buying this fucking shitty excuse for a game. Fuck Nintendo Switch 2 welcome tour. If Nintendo really cared, they would be taking the hit for these tariffs. They can afford it. Their millions of dollars earning CEOs can afford it. Their billion-dollar ass company, their multi-billion-dollar fucking company can afford to keep games at 70. Actually, no, they could afford to keep them at $60. They just refuse to take the hit. And don't even act like it's just going to be Nintendo. Xbox and PlayStation will gladly follow through with these $80 games too. This isn't even just a Nintendo problem, it's a gaming problem as a whole. It's an affordability problem. When corporations get comfortable with charging $80, they are going to keep doing it, and $60 is already pushing it, asking for a video game price. $80 is unfucking fathomable. So, to conclude this, once again, boycott the Switch 2. If these prices are unreasonable to you, and they should be, I mean, show them. Don't buy this console. Don't buy the games for this console. It's not unthinkable that they would reduce the price if no one bought it. I mean, the 3DS sold really poorly originally because it was really overpriced to people upon launch, and so they reduced it to 2/3 of the original price. It can happen again. We can show them that we won't accept this. We can refuse to buy Switch 2s. We can show them that we are resistant to corporate greed. That's pretty much it. I'm sorry about how negative and how much of a downer this video was. Like I said, really didn't even want to make it, but I mean, a whole half of my channel, recently it's been even more than half, I've been talking about Nintendo a lot, a whole half of my channel is dedicated to talking about Nintendo. I feel like it's partially my duty to make this, regardless of how many views it gets or regardless of how many people agree with it. This is how I feel, genuinely. I am disgusted with Nintendo right now, and I hate feeling like this because, like I said, I've been such a huge fan for such a long time. But yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. See you guys in the next one.